Like he has some dark history with Sterling Wilboy's Lloyd Kaufman character. I think any sequels might reveal some further history into the characters.
Aim 3 sequels.
Yeah, I think Declan's one of those guys who wants to please. He wants to please Pierce, the director, and he's trying to be his friend, but he's also one of those kind of acolyte types who's like trying to be like his little cult follower, but also like be his best friend in a way. And he's not quite cool enough to be at that point, I think. Actually, one of the cool things I got to do that you can't tell on the final movie is a scene with Michael Horse in the truck. I was actually a script supervisor that day on the set, and it was in the truck with him, reading his lines, like basically crouched down, lap high with him, reading, giving it like his like a one take type of line, and reading his lines was a great. That was my working with Michael Horse. Was that day on set. But yeah, Declan was a lot of fun to play. He had a lot of nuances and a lot of fun. Yeah, he was a great character to play. Sam wrote a great character, and it was great.
So Sam, would you care to talk about your character at all?
About Kristen?
Yeah. Can you pass me the microphone?
Yeah, Mary Lanchester.
Yeah.
Hi. Kristen is an interesting character. Declan is not someone that she would normally, I think, fall in love with, but his cute and innocent and naive and really goofy and silly and ridiculousness kind of won me over, I guess. Yeah, I know. I don't know what else to say about Kristen. Yeah.
What was so? Just tell us a little bit about the experience of making this movie. I mean, it looked kind of cold in there sometimes.
It was a little cold, yeah. It was, but I got hot wax poured over me, which was nice. I've never acted before, and I've never been tortured before, and that was really strange. Being tortured by Charlie, the sweetest person I've ever met, was very strange, very strange. I really enjoy acting, and I enjoy working with Sam, and I enjoyed working with everybody. So.
Could you tell where the acting stopped and the torture started, or were they all kind of blurred together?
It's a very blurry line there, yeah, very blurry. It really wasn't, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't really torture at all, I swear, I promise. It was a good time, yeah, for sure.
So, Charlie and Brett, you guys are both here, right? I'm gonna talk to you guys about your characters real quick.
Charlie Metz, the great Charlie Metz. Brett Trail.
So Charlie, I saw scenes from this movie before I really ever met you, and I'm not gonna lie, man, you scared the shit out of me. And then I meet him, and he really is like the nicest guy possible. And I can't believe now that I've known him for years that I was ever afraid of him. So, how do you do that, Charlie?
His character was very. I hear somebody laughing up there. The character was very. But he's a really crazy guy. I can't concentrate. I know that somebody up there is laughing at me. Just, shut up, Chad.
Shut up, Chad.
The character, he was pretty difficult for me. The first day that I got there to Connecticut, I took Sam out to a field overlooking Hartford, and I shared an extremely uncomfortable and personal story with him that I felt like would make it really difficult for me to play this character if I didn't get this off of my chest. And it was very difficult to share that story with him. And
They shared it with the casting crew.
oh yeah. But it allowed Sam and I to figure that out, to figure that character out. I think in order to figure a character out like Buddy, who has a deep well of hatred in him, I think you have to show a lot of weakness in order to find that. And it definitely takes a comfortable place to do it, and it definitely you definitely kind of have to wound yourself a little bit in order to find it. And Sam helped me do that. You know, it was weird. It was definitely weird. Put me in a really weird place. But I mean,
Brett, what was your experience like with this? Because you also play. I mean, you end up kind of making a transformation a couple of times, really, throughout the film. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, certainly. Well, the way I got involved was met Sam in one of my film and directing classes, producing and directing class with Professor Ross, if I'm not mistaken, and asked me if I wanted to be part of this, and it all sounded really exciting, and signed on board, and was I read the script, and I was oh, I really want to play the character of Chris. The lackey stoner friend, but he was like, I think I got it in mind for you, Jake, the brother of the murderer. And I thought, oh well, I have a dark side I can tap into, and as most humans do, I think. But anyways, I just kind of tried to act for the first time, essentially. So I just tried to, wear faces and reactions that anybody might in a situation like that might do. I try not to be a ham, and and tried to find something to the character to relate to, and that's basically how I played a dark character like this.
Awesome. And then Nathan Ross Murphy. Somebody pass him about it. So in this film, everybody is sort of just a bizarre character, and they've got all of these wild emotional swings. And your character is a little more, I guess, the straight man of the bunch, just a guy trying to work and get by, and he's surrounded by insanity. So tell us a little bit about that character and his reactions to everything that was going on.
I think Greg's physically there, and like that's it. You know, everyone has that core group of friends that you grew up with when you were kids, and then life gets in the way and people change, and you turn into, you go separate routes. In small town, and I think their group of friends was very small, and so he's just got a couple, and they're so very different, but no matter how much you change, there's that core group of friends, you're still bridged together. So I don't think they're even friends anymore, but they're stuck in each other's lives, So he shows up, but I think Pierce and Greg are just like opposites. I mean, and I think like Pierce, when he was a kid, was probably somebody totally different. I bet he was like full of like youthful just positivity and stuff, but their roads diverged. So yeah, but he showed up, and I don't think he wants to be there.
If your character hadn't been killed in this movie, what do you his life would have been like afterwards?
Oh man, he's a pretty boring guy. He'd probably be watching TV right now.
Awesome.
You said Legion, that's a good show. He's probably watching that.
That's pretty amazing. Was it difficult being the straight guy amongst all these weird characters?
No. No. We had a blast. We had an awesome time. I don't remember a lot of it. No, stop talking.
Anybody else got any questions for? Yes, sir. You over there, the bearded man.
Oh God.
By the way, I have to apologize if I've made awkward contact with the lady after my last meeting.
Yes, this question is for Michael Horse. You gave a stellar performance during the point where you saw that your girlfriend was killed at the CBC. Could you tell us more about the filming experience for that shot?
The guy was on the roof mooning me the whole time.
And who was that man mooning you the entire time?
It was
Pierce Lindale.
Back to the story, Michael.
Yeah. It's a great walk down memory lane. So there was that scene where Michael's girlfriend was killed and gutted, and he had to look up at the body for a good 45 seconds straight. And it was the main actor in the film, Michael W. Bruce, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but yeah, I think he gives an incredible performance. He was holding the dead body itself, and on one of the takes, he decided to drop his pants and fully moon Mr. Horse, wiggling his butt back and forth the entire time. And I didn't know about it until 2 days later, because Michael is such a consummate professional. There was no sign on his face whatsoever. He was staring at his ass. It looked like it was his dead girlfriend. Complete dedication. And then 2 days later, someone said to me, "Oh yeah, about Mike mooning Michael Horse." And I was like, "What? What the hell are you talking about?" And yeah, that's my version of the story. Is I had no idea it happened because Michael's such an incredible actor.
But I don't know why he stormed off set.
Yes.
And was that the shot you actually used for the film?
I used part of it.
All right, guys. Does anybody else have any questions for the filmmakers?
We've got some great questions. I bet there's a couple people left too. They've been wanting to ask something. They haven't quite gotten up the nerve yet, but they're ready. They're ready. It's the time to ask those questions now. They want to do it. I can tell. I knew it. I knew it. I just knew it.
What's it like growing up in a small town making movies?
I think you just saw. Yeah, it's a great kind of little incubator, and then you get into a city like this and you realize that everyone's making movies and you're not that special, so you have to make a big stupid feature, and that takes 6 years, and then you're sitting up here with my horse.
Well, good job, Sam.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Any final thoughts, Sam or Mr. Michael?
Just thank God for digital film. It's put it back in the hands of filmmakers,
I think we got one final.
Great 16mm films, and just got too prohibitive. But now it's if you're a young filmmaker, you can get a hold of the equipment and make a film.
And yeah, I definitely am just so thankful for all the people who made this movie with me, because it's been a very, very long haul, and from everybody for like Michael Horse and Peter Tork, who took time out of their crazy lives to just do this for no other reason than to help us out because they like the script, and then every single person who just came to Connecticut and lived up there in a cabin with us. It is a huge collaborative effort, and it's a huge just show of love for film and art that this whole thing got made. So yeah, that's definitely my takeaway.
I think we got one more question. One final question.
Yeah, I have a question for Sam. I noticed you're obviously a big horror movie fan.
Yes.
Okay, what movie would you say influenced this the most? Because it reminded me a lot of like the shot-on-video films of the 80s and 90s, and like Hack-O-Lantern, and like just all the weird 80s stuff.
Yeah, it was very much pulling from the 80s and the 70s in different ways. I would say that in terms of horror movies, the most influential one would be Cannibal Holocaust. I guess with the subject matter and the use of found footage and just kind of the philosophy of it, and sort of just, I feel like that's the exploitation movie. Let me talk about Cannibal Holocaust. I feel like that's the exploitation movie where they kind of elevate that subgenre into something much bigger. So that was kind of my goal, is to see if I could make an exploitation movie in this decade, and if I could, try to approach what they did with Cannibal Holocaust. So that and Last House on the Left. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you guys so much for coming out. Let's do one more round of applause.
Yeah.